Tonight on the 31 Nights of Halloween Horror, Amy and Dawn have just been released from a sanitarium, and to celebrate, they're inviting their old boyfriends to have a party. Unfortunately, someone's bringing a weapon. A murder weapon. Tonight's movie, Murder Weapon.
Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of the 31 Nights of Halloween Horror! The Year of Infamy. Yes, infamy is this year. Anyways, tonight, we are going to the strange world of the straight-to-video late 80s horror movie sleaze fest, kind of in there. Anyways, with tonight's movie Murder Weapon. Yes, Murder Weapon. Anyways, Murder Weapon. What is it about? Well, Murder Weapon stars the lovely and seductive Linnea Quigley, probably the greatest of all the Scream Queens. I will put that out there and stand by it. Anyways, her, I believe her name is Dawn in this movie, and her sister Amy. Well, in the beginning, her sister is having a wild, ruckus sexual encounter, and Dawn comes in all schoolgirlish and drinks some milk and all innocent, and then all of a sudden, she gets her murder on. Yeah, it's really strange. Anyways, then we go into what seems like a long, forever sequence of both her and then Amy, so Dawn and Amy, at an insane asylum talking to the psychiatrist about, a bunch of stuff. And honestly, like this is like the worst part of the movie. all these insane asylum talks. Well, anyways, they get released, and to celebrate their release, they decide to have a party at their house and invite all their ex and current boyfriends over to just drink up and celebrate. However, all of a sudden, boyfriends start getting picked off one by one in increasingly gruesome ways. And apparently, there is a murderer on the prowl. And will they be able to survive the night? And, of course, the murder weapon. So, anyways, really brief synopsis because, honestly, there's not a lot to this movie, and I don't want to give anything else away. But let's just say there is a rather comical moment where one of the partygoers is actually one of the crew drinking a beer. And I was like, wait, is that a guy drinking a beer? Is that, that's not part of the part? Oh, my God. Anyways. They did not edit that part out. But honestly, that's sort of part of the charm with some of these B movies. Anyways, let's get to those scores, shall we? Violence and gore. I am actually going to give this a 4 out of 5 because there is some pretty nasty and brutal things going on in this movie, especially the hammer face thing, I think was definitely worth the price of admission. When this movie definitely tries to kill people, it goes for the gore, and yes, some of the effects are laughably bad, but I give credit because you're trying, and I will definitely love the attempt to keep the nastiness on screen as opposed to be, cheap and easy to have it happen off screen, and then you don't have to even try. But no, when you try, and yes, of course, if it looks fake and bad, it's laughable, but that's actually pretty charming too. So anyways, I'm giving it a 4 out of 5. Screw you guys. Anyways, shock value, I'm giving it a 2 out of 5. There are a couple good shocks in this movie, plus the kind of strange reveal, killer at the end, and I think, yeah, like definitely the last act of this movie is like really where all the good stuff is. So anyways, 2 out of 5. Plot is a 1 out of 5. And look, I am not going to be very forgiving of this plot. It is bad. It is slow and it is horrible. And I know it's probably just to pad out the runtime, but my God, the whole sanitarium stuff and the is just so very, very tedious. And it just, oh my God, and the sound mix in this movie, which I guess has nothing to do with the plot, but maybe I'll talk about that later. But anyways, it's just, it's so rather uninteresting, even though I have to say, like, you know, one of the better acting jobs in this movie is done by one of the psychiatrists, psychologists, whatever. But other than that, like, yeah, it is, like, you almost want to just fast forward to the third act, because the third act is everything that you want in the movie. And the first 2 acts, I mean, I don't even know if you can, I guess you could consider the first act, the second act sort of like introducing the boyfriends and stuff like that. The third act is when people start dying, I don't know. So it just, yeah. Anyways, 1 out of 5. Acting, also brutal, 2 out of 5. Like, most of the people in this movie can't act they do a really bad job. However, like I said, the guy who plays the psychiatrist, he does a remarkable job. There's also the guy who plays Rick in the Silent Night, Deadly Night 2, you know, garbage day. I mean, I believe that's him anyways. I could be wrong, but I think that's him because it looks a lot like him. Anyways, but overall, yeah, the acting is not up to par. And but that's not necessarily why you're watching these movies anyway. So 2 out of 5. So moving on to Nudity. Nudity, I am giving a 5 out of 5. And that is impressive when you're talking about not super amounts of full frontal, but there is a lot of tea. There's a lot of titties in this movie, and of course it's all from just 2 people. But it's still, you know, a lot of tea. I mean, there is, you know, a little A in there too. But oh man, like, you know, how can you not love Linnea Quigley? She is just perky in all the places, including her personality. Shame on you people. Definitely talking about just her personality. No, I mean, like, you know, such a bubbly actress. And of course, the person who plays Amy, I think it was Karen Russell. She is bodacious too, and quite lovely. And you get to see quite a bit. So 5 out of 5. Then moving on to enjoyment factor. Once again, it is a 3 out of 5. Look, it's slow and boring at the beginning, and is just like, oh my God. And the sound mixing is so messed up. Like the music is way too loud, and the voices are not very loud, and there is just times where you just can't really even try to understand what they're saying, because it's like, turn down the fucking music already. Just turn it down. Well, anyways. But the ending violence and gore is great. That third act is just awesome. I wish the whole movie was the third act, but it can't be. But that stuff, I think, just definitely, you know, overrides the first part, overrides the questionable acting. And, you know, it's a lot of sugar and sprinkles and everything that you want in a movie that definitely doesn't have it in the plot and acting department. But, and like I said, like, it's better to end on a high note than to end on a crap note. So, and this definitely ends on a much stronger note than definitely the first 2 acts do. And so that's going to be a 3 out of 5. I did a 4 for some reason. 3 out of 5. Anyways, moving on to overall impression. I'm going to give it a 2.5 out of 5. Like I said, there was a lot of problems with the movie. But as a, I don't want to say, like, as a straight-to-video B-movie, I think it does a great job, and I'm giving it a lot of credit, once again, for trying to get everything in the frame and not do it outside the frame. And so, yes, I'm giving it kudos for attempting and, for the most part, delivering some nasty, bloody, gory stuff. And, of course, you know, the lovely ladies doesn't hurt. So, 2.5 out of 5. Definitely average for this sort of fare. Maybe you could say a little below average because of the crappy beginning of the movie. But I'm going to be very forgiving because in the end, I definitely loved what was going on at the end of this movie. So anyway, so 2.5 out of 5, and that averages out to a 2.8 out of 5, which is pretty good, and that's kind of like what happens when you can make all those bonus points. Just like we need that perfect movie that is just super violent and gory, full of shocks and screams all over the place, a brilliant plot, wonderful acting, total sex and nudity all over the place, super fun and enjoyable, like 5s everywhere. That would just, like, we can't, is there a perfect movie? When it comes to my scoring, I don't know if we ever get to a perfect movie, because it's generally usually like you get a really good plot and acting, but you don't really get as much violence and gore and nudity, or you get just tons of violence and gore and maybe tons of nudity, but you don't get real good plot and acting and all. Anyways, that's neither here nor there. Anyways, drinking game, anytime I say anyways, now you're all dead. I'm sorry. Murder Weapon. That is Murder Weapon, everyone. Oh my gosh. Anyways, so tell me what you think. Have you seen Murder Weapon? Leave a comment in the comment section below. Remember to ring the bell and subscribe, or subscribe and ring the bell, or whatever, you know, the YouTube crap and things like that. Anyways, that's it for tonight's episode of the 31 Nights of Halloween Horror. Remember to stay scary, internet, and also to stay sexy. And remember, if you're a guy and your ex-girlfriend is celebrating her release from an insane asylum after murdering somebody, and, you know, you're surrounded by other ex-boyfriends, you might start to wonder if she's really trying to get back with you, or she's just gonna get back at you, if you know what I mean. I'm just saying, it's probably a setup. I don't know. Anyways, that's all I gotta say about that. You know, the more you know.